All right, moving on now. The resolve of the federal government to ensure the National Water Resources Bill becomes law has been met with criticisms.
The bill seeks to transfer the control of water resources from states to the federal government. It also mandates citizens to get a federal permit to drill boreholes in their homes or businesses. These clauses have raised a lot of opposition to the bill, even amongst the lawmakers, as those opposed to it say they will ensure the bill does not see the light of day.
They say the bill breaches the citizens' right to water. Well, joining us in the studio is lawyer and public affairs analyst Gani Faniyi. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the Breakfast Show. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, this issue of the Water Resources Bill has generated all sorts of reactions, so much so it is seemingly taking an ethnic coloration, which is also being talked about even at the National Assembly. But the Minister of Water Resources is saying that efforts have been made to douse the tension it has generated and that there is nothing sinister about the proposed bill.
Well, thank God that it is being said that there's nothing sinister about the bill. Let me answer in concrete terms. The difference between an autocratic government and a democratic government is debate.
Right.
Yes. Is to allow the citizens to have opinions. It is because you discover that most people may not be aware of this, that in autocratic governments, what you don't find is the National Assembly, the Parliament. That's what, in those days of the military, what was absent was the Parliament. The Parliament is the soul of the democratic system. And all the representatives of the people are also there. So, as it is going, it appears that the Parliament is trying to probably throw away its responsibilities, or probably the executive is breathing down on the Parliament. Otherwise, why bringing this bill over and over? It's a kind of irritation. Yes, and very provocative. There's something in my profession, they call it abuse of court process. When you bring a particular prayer repeatedly, the court gets vested or is vexed, angry. So what I would just say is that what is happening now is like a legislative, as far as I'm concerned, it's an abuse of the legislative process.
But the government has repeatedly said that this is in the best interest of the country, and of course the management of the country's waters.
Who determines what is good for you or for me? What determines is the fact that the person must be convinced on his own. Now you just give in your intro, just talk of the ethnic coloration. Should that be the case?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be the case. So I am concerned, as far as I'm in my own case, that the government ought to be sensitive to the yearnings of the people. If you brought something, a particular bill in the 8th National Assembly, and it was rejected, and you brought it now, and upon bringing it, there was a particular statement credited to the member in the National Assembly, the Senate, saying that it will no longer be debated.
Right.
So it is very suspicious, and everybody feels what exactly is it all about. And now the issue of the ethnic issue, which ordinarily should not be so. So as far as I'm concerned, this particular bill will not fly. People are looking at it from the angle of the fact that the government, particularly the federal government, wants to seize the land of the people.
How so? Because it has expressed what the bill is about.
I am telling you, look, it is the Constitution that is the ground norm of governance in this country. The Constitution. The Constitution, Section 315, subsection 5, has entrenched the Land Use Act. And Section 1 of the Land Use Act says, all land in the territory of a state is vested in the governor.
And so because the waters are underneath the land.
The reason why you don't have a house lord, what do you have? You have a landlord.
Right.
Is that what is affixed to the land is part of the land. That's why you don't see anybody that says, I'm a house lord.
But it doesn't seem the governors are agitated here.
Look, the governors, The governors we have these days, because of the architecture of governance, the governors have been so much silenced because of the structure of government that we have. People are not just talking of restructuring for nothing. The police we are talking about, all these issues we are talking about, stems from this thing, from this particular issue. Some younger ones don't even know that the fact that what we are having a problem over is the over concentration and centralization. So the federal government is having more problem, as far as I'm concerned. It appears the federal government is very gluttonous. The government is looking for virtually everything. We must be controlling. Can you imagine? I say it with every pride and with what I see around here. Lagos has got to a level whereby it can control traffic without traffic warning from anywhere. They go to the junctions. You see the police muscling out the last mile people. So as far as I'm concerned, the federal government on this issue of this water bill has to bow to the sensibilities of the people. The people don't want this, particularly in the southern part of this country. I don't want a situation whereby people will coming out. People have seen it as a kind of ploy to take their ancestral land. That's all. For a particular set of people. And that is the issue of feathers.
So the argument in some quarters believe that in spite of having so many rivers across the land, there's still scarcity of water, and that there has been no regulation on management of water, and this bill intends to address just that.
It makes me laugh because to start with, we are not practicing a monarchy, and we are not practicing an oligarchy. We are practicing democracy. Democracy is about consensus and dissent. If you brought a particular bill in the 8th National Assembly, if it was turned down, and you now came again and you brought it, and the person who placed it in the National Assembly or the Senate said, look, no debate over this. You know, it is very provocative. And you can see the consequences. There's nobody in the southern part of this country that will vote in favor, that will come back to his constituency.
Why?
Look, they polarize the entire space because it appears it is being done to favor a set of persons. You have heard something about Ruga, you have heard something about colony and all those things. Wanting to take land of somebody, what is ancestral, what we know, and the law guarantees.
Is that why some persons believe that this danger poses a bill to Nigeria's unity?
Of course. Look, it's like the protest going all about. Nobody can come to my ancestral land and dispossess me. Because land belongs to the dead, the living, and the yet unborn. That is the concept. And everybody has land anyway. And we have seen countries where rain does not even fall. And yet they decide to green it. So if you are so passionate about land, pastures, and the rest, go and green the place and spend the money wisely. So there's nobody, there are so many issues that are concerned. Section 315, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, entrenched the Land Use Act in that Constitution. In fact, we were angry when it was being done, but now it's not.
So it's a contravention of the Land Use Act?
Of course, the Land Use Act, section 1, has gone ahead to say, look, all land within the territory of a state is held in trust by the governor. And land, whatever it is attached to it, is part of the land. So you don't separate water from land. You don't do it. That is why you don't have a house lord. You have a landlord.
So if we are to look at the proper management of our waters.
What is proper, what is improper? Something is within me. If I like, I leave it there. It's not your concern.
Really?
Yes, you don't come and then.
But these are the reasons why we have a government in place.
Which government do we have in place? The law is what governs a government. That is why it is different from oligarchy. Like I'm just telling you. The law is there that what belongs to me. The law, the Land Use Act goes ahead to recognize the fact that some people own some land. And that's why when you go to court today, you want to assert your interest over land, then you'll be given justice.
But now that is seemingly looking like there is an insistence on this bill being pushed forward.
That's what I'm saying, that what we are practicing democracy.
What is
it will lead to despotism. People will believe that you want to use force to snatch my land from me. And that's why you are seeing the polarization in the National Assembly. It is already known that if you are a southern legislator, if you subscribe to it, it means something else.
Is it an issue, is it about law or that of trust that's evoking this several
Both are there, but law is paramount to start with. We have a ground norm. And whatever is inconsistent with that ground norm, it is void to the extent of its inconsistency. So there is a law in place, which we call Land Use Act, that vests land in the governors. And somebody is coming to the National Assembly now and say, look, I want to also deprecate part of that law. It is never done. It is void. It cannot be done. You need to go ahead first and foremost to amend the Constitution. And even when you are amending the Constitution, like I told you, there are so many things. A case that happened in the 20s, Amadou Tijani, against Secretary of Southern Nigeria, went ahead to say, look, land belongs to the dead, the living and yet unborn. It's only a land that if you are prosecuting land issue, if you drop dead, God forbid, somebody else will take your place. That is the coloration that we know. And that is why lawyers say, look, quick platantor, Solo said it. What is attached to the land is part of the land. You don't tell me there's water, there's land. And that's why I told you, I said, look, have you heard of anybody coming and said, my house lord is coming, my landlord is coming? It is just an improvement, the house on it. I can demolish it and use it for something else. So it is provocative. And as I said, it is legislative kind of abuse of the legislative process. Once there is a legislation, once there is a bill that people are reacting to, and you decide to withdraw it, you don't bring it back again. When you are bringing it back, you are now irritating the people.
So
you are vexing the people, and the people are getting suspicious that you must have a reason.
An ulterior motive.
An ulterior motive for doing this.
So the intention of the minister of the minister to call for perhaps an avenue where people can communicate and he can express what the bill is about is totally a waste of time. That's what you're saying.
Of course, let him do something with the river basins. We knew that river basins came, Operation Feed the Nation or Green Revolution and all the rest. We have been seeing at least. We have seen the progression from all those. Let him do something with it first. But this particular one, it runs against what the law says, and it runs against the provisions of the Constitution.
All right.
So nobody, it will not fly.
All right, let's leave it here now. Gani Faniyi, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.